this is mild right now, but it's video game sounds and cut up music, and it's like mind control stuff coming in my walls, and it moves all the way up and down the wall. It depends where I'm sitting, and sometimes it gets really loud. Personal comments about vaginas and penis and marijuana, and they try to make it sound like it's television commercials and stuff, which is also live interactive abuse often around here. At least it always has been for me. And people saying that they're from the police, and not directly saying they're from the police, but directly saying they're from the Department of Defense, and really abusive things. So I'll just put this here for now. The volume actually went down since I turned it on. I'll put it right by the wall here. Maybe you'll be able to hear it. They actually lessened the volume and they moved it down the wall over here. This is every day and night. Sometimes it's so severe I just sit here and cry. Plus they do that so-called voice of skull, plus psychic abuses, plus radioactive abuses, what they called chemotherapy. And they bragged about that several times. Pretty much every day my nose burns, my throat burns, my lips are split. They're actually doing a lot better right now. It's not a TV. It's like in that Aeon Flux cartoon on MTV, remember? And every time you'd hear a TV or somebody talking in the background, I'd be like, and every now and then they say, some pretty specific things. I walked into the grocery store, I have $24 in food stamps left. That's another story. They shut down the Salvation Army for June so-called 10th, whatever, right? It's supposed to be to celebrate brown people's freedom. We're all sleeping in the streets, hungry, with barely any shoes. So that's part of that. But yeah, I went into the store and immediately someone commented about my penis. 2 other people referred to me as a girl. Several people tried to walk, 3 people specifically tried to walk directly into me practically. To the point where I finally cussed. I said, "Get the F away from me." And then I felt bad that I cussed. And they're like, "Oh, that guy right there, that's him. He just cussed." I'm like, "Oh God, here we go again." And I love God, Like I couldn't get anything to eat, It says, no, that's not a real name. Keonia. Maybe it is. Hey, there's Frankie. Howdy, boss. What's up? I meant to spell hoss. What's up, Frankie? I look like hell. How you doing, buddy? Keonia Owens. Hi, Keonia Owens. Oh, you want to hear more of that junk in the wall? I'll put it back there for a minute. It moves when I move. It's actually scrolling up and down the wall based on where I move. All right, I'll be quiet. Or I could explain how some of the mind control works. Some people know, but to verbalize it, like for instance, they put out like tracers, like say something what could be used for something else later, and then they'll say something more specific, and then put a psychic projection behind it to see if I pick up on it immediately. Like lifetime, some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this. And then he said UFO, which was applied to nothing, but maybe later in the chatter he'll use that, and it's mind control, and it gets to a point where I can't even think for myself anymore in here, and this is what they do to people, and that's how so-called demonic possession works. Well, works, right? It's not really work; it's corrupt. And that's the other thing. Like as I talk, they go dip, 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 as I'm talking. What? Sorry, I can't hear you. Just like a bully would do. What's this here? I'm getting loud thunder sounds over here in New Hampton. Yeah, I was getting those also, Frank. I was getting loud thunder sounds here too, but not just thunder, not just like boom, but like crumbling paper, like long thunder sounds. There you go. Thunderheads are rumbling in a distant overture. I got one guitar left, Frank. I got, my other one got swiped. I might have to close my window. Wow, that's thanks, because I'm finally getting some cool air a little bit. I got the bass guitar left. That's all I got left. 4-string bass. If you can get to see the video, it's not on YouTube, Frank. You'd have to see if you could get it from the police. But the video, oh, you already saw it. All right. Yeah, it was dreadful, right? 12553. Oh, the sky just lit up. The light emitting diode ion sky just lit up. I don't know the correct words for it. I want to see it. The birds are all out there, and the birds are out in the grass out there. They're like, Worm City. Yeah. Well, you know what Charlie or Bobby or whatever his name is said? He said, y'all think World War II ended? It never ended. Yeah, that's Charlie. No, that's not Charlie Manson. Maybe that's Charlie Ingalls. I don't know what his name is. Anyway, he said World War II never ended. Yep. That's why Nancy Zimmerman's dad had a bunker under his house in Long Island near Hapogui. And that girl beat him with a baseball bat and stole his prosthetic leg, according to the police report. People were saying we were in a giant court hearing and in a giant AA meeting. What? Wow, this guy just lit up again. Life should always be like that, you know. People should always be scrutaneous of their own self, you know, not of each other, with the exception in self-defense, you know. Oh, it says I got more here. How do I see it? Oh, see, the screen is locking up. I got this line going down the screen. I don't think it's a broken screen. I think it's a program that looks like a broken screen, and then it like uses that as excuse to push all the controls on my phone. So, yeah, I can't see any of the comments. Nope. Nah, all kinds of stuff popping up on my phone. I can't even open or close this screen. I can't see the rest of the comments either. There's one next door. Next door. It's so obnoxious that people would spend all that energy to be abusive like that. It really is. I don't know how I'm going to cut this transmission, but I'm not able to control my phone. They've taken over it. I tried to return it, and then I brought it to Walmart, and the girl said, "Oh, you can't return a phone or exchange a phone unless it's been 24 hours." I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. That's just, you just made that up. Like, that's not true, you know? Of course, I couldn't say that because I was with somebody else who would say, "Hey, don't start an argument." You know, it's like everywhere I go, don't point, don't say something, don't look at people. It's like, oh boy, how does a person defend themselves in a situation like that? Where the whole world is thronging me and I can't even say, get away from me, leave me alone, you know? They stood outside of my door, this one over here, and her friends were outside of my door, and she was saying, "You can't have your children. You can't have your children." And I'm like, I just lost this cussing. I said, "Get the F away from me. Leave me the F alone. I don't mess with you. Leave me alone. Why are you bothering me?" And she was banging on my wall, going, "Just settle down in there." Taunting me, telling me I couldn't have my children. And she knows who some of my children are, which is really hurtful. And the others are saying they don't exist at all. And so then they're like, "Oh, call the cops." And they call the cops. Oh, this guy always stalks me right here. And he's called the cops on me several times. He refers to me as psycho. See how he's carrying his dog? He's carrying his dog so he can put his hand up under his anus and his testicles while, I guess, before he defecates, so he can get that pay dirt divination, that sexual gratification. Oh yeah, he'll walk out in a rainstorm. He's come into stores and started problems with me. He's followed me down and hid behind magazine racks. He's come up to me in the grocery line, telling me, "Relax, I'm paying for my newspaper." After having the police put restraining against me to stay away from him, put complaints into the office saying I was harassing him. He stands on top of the hill. Oh, you want to see him again? He stands on top of the hill and he shouts to his friend, "Here comes Psycho," which goes all the way back to my childhood when they used to hurt me really bad. No, what he'll do is he'll go outside of my window and he'll start shouting at his dog, but he doesn't have to now because I looked at him. He got my attention. That's part of the mind control, right? To keep an erection in my sleep because he's a sex predator. It's part of that satanic child molesting thing. I don't judge people, but something has to be judged, right? I mean, it's not normal. Anyhow, he'll come outside of my window, like if I'm meditating and I'm like this, he'll come outside of my window and he'll just start shouting, like, "Get out of there! Get out of there!" It's ridiculous. None of them seem to care about my missing children. They all tell me, "Let it go. Let it go. You'll find them someday if they want to." I'm like, what the hell kind of people am I living around? Super stressful. Very stressful, very unkind. Yeah, that's coming from the kitchen and the ceiling. You heard that? I can't see your comments, Frank, or anybody if you're leaving comments. They locked up my screen. Yeah, it was coming from over behind the refrigerator and from the ceiling and over here. It's not a TV set. It's abuse. I'm just going to put the phone there because maybe you guys can find out where the dark website is that's allowing them to do that. I also had smart controls to my electric, my temperature, the air in my apartment. See, now he's shouting at his dog because I'm ignoring him. Yeah, they had so-called smart controls to everything in my apartment, including my voltages, individual zones of lights, to trigger my refrigerator on and off as a kicker when I'm sleeping, which was why my salads were freezing and the things in my freezer were thawing out. No, I have no electricity, none whatsoever. No refrigerator, no stove, nothing. No lights, no records, nothing. So just a show real quick. Sorry if I can't see your comments. You're welcome to leave them for posterity, whatever that means. See, so now I'm charging my bicicleta there, but outside the bushes, they chopped all the bushes down. I showed you, y'all saw that in the other video maybe. They chopped the bushes down because I was able to lay on the bench there and stretch my back, get two birds out of one bush, charge the bike, mind my own business. And as Frank knows, maybe other people know, I'm like about 1.5 miles from anything on the roadway anyhow. Unless I cut through the woods, which is very messy, thorns and swamps and not easy to get through. About 1.5 miles from anything. So I need a vehicle to get around, and I got hit by 2 cars. So they're really trying to cut off all my lifelines is what they're doing. And ever since I moved in here, all kinds of things will come through these vents. I will get latex, acetone, pet dander and dog hair smells, pencil shavings, urine, and they would just pump it through my vents. They even bragged about it at one point. Joe, one of the Joes, there was 2 of them that supposedly worked here, if you could use that word. It's like when you say mental health worker and they strap people down and kill them. It's really not a work, it's a destruction, It's not constructive. Right? The traffic sounds are loud, Frank. You can hear those, right? They're so loud, aren't they? Yeah, that's amplified. That little girl, remember that blonde haired little girl? They were trying to, tell her she needed to be medicated. Well, it's not medication. And telling her that she had ADHD. And she said, I don't have ADHD. The sounds are so loud and everybody's being so mean. And I can't concentrate on my schoolwork. That's like literally what she said. So sad, man. Ruining children's lives. Telling them that they're psychotic and that they need drugs. What they keep telling them is medicine to get them better. This is what they did to me my whole life. Look how sleep deprived I am. I'm like, I can't hardly focus. That's part of the torture. Yeah, I can't see any of the comments. I can't move down the page. Nope. Nope. Can't see any more comments. The page is flickering, but I can't move it. Nope. Oh yeah, that control's working. Nope, now it's not working. Nope, that won't let me put it back. Now the whole screen locked up. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, not one moment of peace, not one moment of prayer, meditation, sleep. Just constantly trying to keep that demonic feel under my testicles and keep me feeling afraid and on the edge of myself. And they just don't, they do not let me rest. It's really painful, man. Then I had a, I don't have to tell Frank. Frank's seen it already, but I had an officer come up to me and, flinching at me like that, like cussing at me. I'm not going to effing help you. Nobody in this police department's going to help you. He said, what do you want from me? I said, I want you to help me find my children. And he said, no. Then they fired up a taser sound and, trying to intimidate me. He was hanging on to his magazine, like he had an unusual old-fashioned magazine clip, like a custom-made magazine clip that held several magazines of bullets, like real psychotic. But I was just like, what? I don't know what to say. Just like, I had these paints. I had intended to learn how to paint, like a picture. It's just nothing. I can't finish. I can't finish nothing. I can do nothing. I got this model of my house. I think Frank already saw it. He said it was very accurate. That's referencing me. That was a reference to me. Yeah, that's the guy that told me, I don't care about you missing children. Now go in your room, close the door, and cook your food. And I was eating like a pot of split pea soup with like nothing in it but onion powder and garlic powder and salt and stuff. And I had like diarrhea for days. And I was so scared and depressed. He said he was going to call the police. I actually went into the woods and stayed in the woods for, clock hours, scared to come home. And he said, the next time you say anything, I'm calling the cops. And stop telling every Tom, Dick, and Harry about your missing children. I said, you don't care about missing children? And he said, no, I don't. I'm like, oh my God, why are you talking to me then? He goes, because you're raising your voice. I was like, do we need to play these tapes back? Of course I raised my voice. Look at what I'm living with. Look at the kind of contention and abuse and torture and torment and, oh, okay, baby, bye, baby. Well, come on, give me a New York minute. What do I look stupid? Well, I don't answer that, Frank. I know I don't look stupid. Neither do you, buddy. I'm surprised you don't have multiple girlfriends, if not, a good, substantial wife by now. You're pretty handsome for your size. Just put that out there. Maybe it'll track some fish out of the sea. Hold on a minute. Oh, look at that. I got other comments here, and I can't look at them. Uh-oh. Now I got to close my window because they're going to blow rain in it. Uh-oh. No, nope, not coming in. That's good. I'm getting a little fresh air finally. Oh, it smells in here. It smells like, toilet and shower, and the paint is sticky. The humidity is so high in here. My throat has been burning because I've had to use candles to shave my face. I can't cut my hair because I have no electricity, and I know if I go in any of these venues around here with the electricity to cut my hair, they'll start a war over that, just because it's something to argue about. It's just so painful. Anyway, yeah, I was making this house, and I never finished it. The kitchen window's missing, and never put the stairs on it or anything, or landscaping around it. But my electronics boxes, some of them I never finished. And it's none of it is because I'm lazy. I can't keep up with the maintenance on my bicycle. It keeps getting hit by cars and destroyed in potholes, and I just can't keep up, man. And now, I would sit here soldering. I have no electricity now. I would sit here soldering, and they would literally turn my voltage up and down and like mess up my electronics projects. Laughing and making comments through the wall like, that's right, I'm a selfish woman, ha ha ha, you're a retard, murderer, all kinds of comments through my wall. Then they'd knock on my wall and they'd be, oh, just settle down in there. So yeah, like, I'm real depressed. Here I got some food but I can't refrigerate. I mixed, this is what I'm eating. I'm surviving. It's canned artichoke hearts with chickpeas, and I put the juice in there, and I put apple cider vinegar, a little Kosciuszko mustard, some black pepper, and I'm trying not to eat any cheese because my throat is so sore and irritated from the chemicals in the air outside in here, and from using candles. It really bothers me using candles to shave my face because I can't see. No, I don't shave my face with the candle, but in order to see candlelight. Maybe I ought to contact Ed before this goes out and tell him to pick me up, but I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. This is all so depressing. Yeah, you saw that flight bag? That's how all the neighbors live. They have like overnight military flight bags. Just like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to a hotel for a few days. It's like, wow. I live next to angels. Angels are asses. They're asses. None of them are nice. They're idiots. All of them. Whatever. I wish there were some people to walk into that police station with me with big TV cameras, you know? Oh, I would talk so calm. I would be so relieved. I would talk so calmly. I actually did talk very calmly the last time, Frank. Yes, I did. I only said, I think I said shit, you know, because I was being cussed at and yelled at, and the guy was flinching at me. You know, they call it a trigger response, trying to get me to react or flinch so that he could assault me. All because I won't stop looking for children. Oh, you heard about that? The preacher? Yeah, the preacher from the Salvation Army said in Slanglish, you know, something mente, you know, Slanglish is not really translatable. It's only kind of explainable. You could break it down and say, by this part, he meant that. It's not really any language. You know, it's like Slanglish. That's what it is. Anyway, he said that this girl is too dumb. You know, she's a little retarded. She's too retarded to know that she has any children, so something needs to be done about him soon, because he's going around stirring up all this about the trafficked children. And you know, he doesn't realize, like, the way the world works is that a girl like that can't know that she has a child because she's too stupid. And the preacher actually said that. Yeah, that's the one that put out the APB for me. Oh, gray pants, gray shirt. I'm like, what is my charge? You cannot talk to me like that. I said, I can talk to you. Yes, I can. Get the hell out of my personal space. You know, get away from me. You can't tell me I can't have food at the Salvation Army because I'm telling you to get out of my face. That's not, you know, that's not your right or your job. And then there must have been twins, or they were doing some kind of an act, because the next day the girl was like, yeah, remember that, what you said to me? And he's like, oh yeah, that was me. I was like, wow, must be like lookalikes, you know, twins. Or he's just acting, you know, which also is insane. But they let me back in there. The people said, you go to that Salvation Army and you walk right in there and you sit down and you get food with everybody else. I was like, oh no, they're going to throw me out again. He's like, nope, just do it. So I was like, all right. So, you know, they didn't walk with me. They went in there ahead of me, and I went in and I sat down and I ate. And they were all talking about me all around me and making stupid comments, what I was ignoring. And I ate the very healthy food, you know. Had vegetables, and I think that one might have been noodles. I don't remember. I don't get to enjoy anything too much. Oh, see, sometimes they blow my plants over, and then I got to clean all the dirt off the floor. I just want air in here, man. I need air bad. Yeah, I got some sunburn, huh? It's not the sun, but it sure did burn. All right, baby, I'll see you Tuesday, baby. Oh my God. She's not his baby, and I'm not his baby, so maybe he's talking to the cat, the one he always yells at for pooping. You're gonna poop today. You are gonna poop. You hear me? And that's like, yeah, it's vicarity, right? It's just take out some kind of weird, demented sexual feeling on me. You know? Oh, you want to see that door, Frank? I'll show you which one it is. You already know, but I'll show it for the camera. Oh, you don't know? That's that one right there. And then the next one down, that's the guy who trafficked me as a child through his house. It was either in Goshen, Montgomery, Maybrook, Walden, one of those areas. I don't know if he ever went by a different name like Jay or anything, but he trafficked me through his house, and he bragged about it. He said, I had a friend. When I was younger, we used to lay on the floor and look at the patterns on the ceiling from the heater. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Why did you bring that up? He's like, what are you talking about? You know, they call it gaslighting me. He said, that was 50 years ago. That would be impossible. No, it was me, and that's why you mentioned it. But then they bring children here, like all these child molesting people, and they bring the children here, like running in, like, come on, children, let's go stay at Grammy's house. And it's like, who the hell brings children into the midst of a bunch of child molesters? Like, I made 2 phone calls about that apartment next door. Yes, I did. And that child was being grossly physically abused, mentally, spiritually, sexual witchcraft. I mean, the things that were being shouted through that wall, and then the cry when she jumped on top of him. I said, Graham, get off of me, Graham. Because she tackled him, because he was crying, because I was in here praying against what they were doing. And I wasn't being loud about it, but I was being very, prayerful and stern about it. Like, he doesn't know that his grandmother's very sick, and that she, whether it's his step grandma or her sister or whoever it was, but yeah, they ended up tackling the little boy. And the middle one was abusing the younger one, and then they would leave them alone on purpose so that he could groom the little one, which was being supposedly medicated for so-called ADHD. He supposedly was, mentally ill. That's the thing. All these children are supposedly mentally ill, but the parents who are drugging them with these compressed pot pills and neurotoxic alcohol-based drugs, whatever it's based on, chlorprazamine, Haldol, Thorazine, olanzapine, flufenazine, decanoate, Haldiprol, whatever names it goes by, it's all neurotoxic poison that causes diabetes, it causes renal failure, Parkinson's disease, what they called tardive dyskinesia to cover it up. It's Parkinsonisms, what's in the old descriptions. They changed it because of me, because I brought it out to public light that Parkinsonisms is what y'all call Parkinson's disease. Hello. And then in some cases, death. And bleeding seborrheic dermatitis was not on the list, but it was on the list that it caused skin damage. Like your forehead could literally just like bleed, just weep, oil, pus, and blood. It's neurotoxic. It's poisonous. Anyway, they were saying that the little boy was mentally ill. The middle one was abusing the younger one. And then they had an older one that was coming over and telling them both that they were homophobe and vicariously shouting through the wall at the same time that I was a homophobe. And the grandmother was vigorously defending it and saying that was a private conversation they were having with the children. First of all, children shouldn't be any sexual so-called preference or any sexuality whatsoever. Right there is a confession of being a child molester. That's messed up. Yeah, I put my beers in the freezer in the day room. I got nothing. I have nothing. I don't know what to do anymore. It's crazy. All they're trying to do is keep that sex feel in my... Then I helped a friend who's struggling in the street, right? And I had some contaminated clothing that I put in with my clothing, and all my washed clothing is funky smelling, and it's like I'm so depressed, man. I don't have anywhere to wash it. I got to go like a mile and a half to wash my clothes. And then, going to laundromat with a bunch of people soldier checking me and getting children to bend over in front of me because the children have been abused. It's like, and I try not to say anything in front of children, and I try to break it up the best I can, but it's like really discouraging, man. I really think we need a gigantic, humongous, like play-by-play, circle, arrow, pause, rewind, slow motion, show everything. Like, this is what gang stalking is. This is what the influence is. This is what demonic means. This is what mind control is. Just show everything. Uh-oh, here comes the rain again. Real strong. Watch my windows. Yeah, I got cardboard furniture. I really don't want it to be ruined. Let's go ahead and close that one. Oh boy, it's coming down in cats and buckets. Uh-oh, I better close that and the hatches temporarily until it stops, which is a shame because I really need a drink of water. I drink of air. Drink of water. This is how tired I am, Frank. Oh man, everything's wet already. Oh man. That didn't take long. See, this is what they do. The gods must be crazy, right? They don't like me. Soak all my stuff with water. Take one of my drum mutes here. Yeah, put mutes on these drums too, Frank. All right. Put that there. Yeah, I don't want to batten down the hatches. I can't breathe, you know. I need air. Yeah, it's all an act, right? See you Tuesday, baby. Whatever. I close it, and that air feels so good. Yeah, that's how it is. Like, it won't blow in this window, but it'll blow in my window. Oh, now here's some maintenance so-called truck, you know. Yeah, they're here to fix everything except, you know, what they're doing to me on purpose. You know, they want to ping off of the Wi-Fi that I'm using. They want to, you know, make sure my electric's not functional. It's real depressing, man. Yeah, somebody banged on the ceiling. Rotten, right? This is every day, man. Every day. All day, every day. Just stress, trauma, arguments. It is like a war. It's really super freaking depressing. Yeah, my throat always hurts. My ear canal hurts. My nose always hurts. Everything is making me sick. I just get, and then I'm trying to go to work on Monday to pay for this phone, and this phone doesn't even work. I can't even move the controls on it. It's got a line through the middle of it, and I got to go to work. And every single pair of shoes that I have here, with the exception of the boots that also leak, every one of them either doesn't fit or has holes in it. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs have holes in it. These are extremely uncomfortable. These ones leak, and those ones cut my feet. So it's like I don't have any shoes that are comfortable. My clothes smell funky. The apartment smells funky. And yes, I keep this place very, very nice as best as I can. I mean, it's a little sketchy because I'm kind of living in severe stress right now. They're torturing me. Yeah, you hear that? And flying out there in the base, and it's perfectly clear, right? Now, you and I and everybody who has any common sense know 2 fire code 5/8 sheetrock party walls and sound insulation in a 2x6 separator wall, what's known as a firewall between apartments. You cannot hear the tang off of a floor tom drum. You cannot hear an early reflection reverb, but you can't hear the clarity and the top end of someone's voice, but there you just heard it, right? And then all the rest of it will be like for days and hours on end. Oh, it's depressing, man. It's witchcraft. It's, mumbo jumbo, jargon, mumbling, murmuring. Now the rain stopped. Now I can open my window again. Oh boy. This is every day, all day, just trying to get air. And then when I'm not here, I have to close it up and I come back and it's so stuffy I can't breathe again. Every day, just trying to get air. Just trying to get air. Air, water. Please don't tamper with my shower anymore. You know, just like literally crying, trying to take a shower. Please stop tampering with my shower. I mean, you know, the only difference between this and homelessness is, you know, physically I'm much safer in here to be able to survive out of the elements. But, you know, it's like I'm carrying this ridiculous burden of arguing constantly with people that are given permission and ability to torture me with mind control, sleep deprivation, irradiation, all kinds of ridiculous, painful nonsense. And that's not cool, you know? It's really difficult. Well, at least now I'm getting a little air through here. Now go open that other window back up. This is every day, on and off, on and off. Open the windows, close the windows, open the windows, close the windows. And I'm usually not even here, but when I am, that's always what it is, always. I never, ever can just sit here and get a nice, comforting airflow through this apartment. I got to always pop the door open. I can't get any air in here. I'm really suffering. I'm having a hard time breathing. Yeah, surveillance truck, exactly. Thank you. Right, they're all military, exactly. Maybe better call Ed real quick. Tell him to pick me up. How do I even minimize the screen? Sorry, I gotta try to end this.